90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. You are tuned into the Diary Room. WMSC. I am Have of the Week Mole, and with me is
also Have of the Week, but not for long, Chris.
But not for long.
Just Chris, still Chris, always been Chris.
Dun, dun,
And
dun.
we're back in the diary room. Woo!
Very sleepy.
Little sleepy.
Sleepy moment in the diary room.
Gotta rest off that crazy week we just had.
It's so true. It was
Insane week.
whiplash, whiplash, whiplash. And so now, in our last episode, we already addressed this previous week's Sunday episode. So today we've just got Wednesday and Thursday to go over. But boy, did Big Brother deliver. Big Brother heard, oh, they're only going to talk about 2 episodes this week. Let's really pack in the most possible for Emol and Chris. And thus we are here to discuss what I labeled as the Kenny Chronicles. And we're going
The story of Kenny.
The story of Kenny. What happened to Kenny this week? Let's talk about it. We're going to start with Wednesday, the episode where the veto comp happens. And my very first note is that Kenny wants to go home so badly, but is also winning competitions.
You don't know. They got a little tracker whenever he's on screen. It's the thumbs up and the thumbs down.
They did.
That was so funny.
They went through a whole montage of ups and downs of Kenny Kelly and how some days he's like, yes, I'm in the house and I'm gonna win this comp and blah, blah, blah. But also, man, I just want to go home.
I miss my kids.
I miss my kids.
I miss my family.
Get me out of here. And man, and what's interesting is I've heard this for a little bit. I again have like spark notes on the live feeds. I haven't had the chance to catch them myself, but I've heard this for a while that he is just, really into not being here anymore. But it's interesting because there was kind of a montage moment of like really pointing that out and other house guests taking note of it too. And it's just like, man, like so many people want to be on the show, but you're just gonna get on the show and be like, yeah, I'm done. But he conveniently seemed like he was done when he didn't win a comp, but when he did win the comp, he was all in. But I guess it just goes to show you there's a lot of, just a whole social experiment. It's a personal experiment too of, are you able to handle something like this? And clearly he was somewhere in between. I mean, I can't, all respect for a family man, but it was interesting. I did think the graphics were very funny.
Yeah, that was very silly. Good job, production.
Good job. And
you did a silly.
Shout out to whoever's doing their social media because their videos are hilarious. I don't know if you've seen them, but Big Brother CBS, they've been doing some very silly videos. When the house guests exit the house, when silly things go on in the house. They did a couple memes the other day that I thought were really funny. My favorite was, okay, wait. No, I'll get back to my favorite one because it's going to be super relevant at the end of this episode's review. It made me giggle. But you know what else made me giggle? The veto this week. More so the outcome of it. But my notes for veto is Cedric,
This is
head of household, picks, people to play the veto comp. And Cedric chooses Mackenzie and Leah. And my note says he looks pained. He did not want to pick Mackenzie and Leah.
it's okay because
Because
that was not the outcome at
But-
all.
Wait, what was the comp again?
Oh, this was fun. So it was the one where they had to take the really complicated pole with a bunch of like things that branch off of it. So it
Mm-hmm.
was it was the um it was something my core. I think it was recharge my core. That was the what it was called, I believe. And it was this big pole, and it was like the core of
Mm-hmm.
Ainsley, her like memory or whatever, I don't know. And it had like it looked like a tree. It was basically a big tree with a bunch of branches on it, and they had to carry it through a maze with the vines. Do you remember this?
Mm-hmm.
Are you remembering this? Yeah.
I'm remembering vines.
So there was the vines, and then they had this core, which was basically just a big tree. And they had to maneuver it through these vines. And every time that this core with even the branches, if it touched a vine, they would get so they had like a health bar. It was like 100% along like, and every time they would touch a vine with this core thing, they would lose 5% of their health bar. And so the person who made it through the maze with the least or the most health and in the fastest time, if there was a tie, but there was no tie, so that doesn't matter. But whoever made it through in the with the most health won the game, and they did a whole top three ceremony in the thing, and it ended up being the top three was Kenny, Mackenzie, and Tucker. And in third place was Mackenzie. I believe she had 65%. Kenny, I don't remember his, and Tucker won very narrowly, I believe.
Mm.
Uh I don't remember the exact percentages. I just remember hearing Mackenzie got 65 for some reason. It just remembered to me. Um but in the end, Mr. Tucker, absolute comp beast, wins another competition, the veto, and then from this point on, nothing makes sense. If you thought that the game of Big Brother was very streamlined and normal, boy, do I have news for you.
This is very true
Um, because
because Tucker.
we did a lot of Big Brothering this week. We played a lot of Big Brother. Um, so would you like to kick off the B plot of this week?
The B plot. So, well, Tucker says he likes to shake things up, and that is exactly what he's going to do. So, so I believe Tucker starts talking to Cedric about what he could do with his veto because Kenny said that if he won the veto, he was going to think about perhaps now on the block it's Kenny and Tucker and Angela that Kenny brought up maybe I'd take down Angela because Kenny wants to go home so badly. Cedric's like, okay, that's kind of whack, but okay. Thinks that once Kenny loses, he does not have to worry about this anymore. Wrong, because now Tucker is like, well, what if I take down Angela? And Cedric's like, what? Cedric's like, what? Why would you do that? And so then Tucker starts this whole plan against Quinn and telling Cedric to put up Quinn because at this point, everyone has found out that the second power belongs to Quinn. And it is because Quinn told Chemo, who told Tucker, who told Cam, who told Cedric. And I wrote that
And
down.
now everyone knows.
Now everybody knows about this power.
My favorite part of this whole entire debacle was when they went to the balcony and started talking to Quinn. Like they didn't know he had the power, just trying to bait it out of him.
Mhm.
And he was in the diary room, like,
Where we are.
come on, guys, again with the power. And he was like, these guys are so easy to manipulate.
The
And
editors were so evil for that.
and for yes, at the time, I thought it was over for Quinn. I thought he was the villain. I thought I was cooked. Because if my star player gets out week 3, I'm donezo.
Hmm.
I'm donezo. But so at the time, Cedric and Cam and Joseph, I believe it was them 3 up there on the balcony.
I don't remember Cam.
I'm not 100%
I don't know,
sure.
but I know Joseph was there.
Joseph was there and Cedric
Cedric
was there.
approaches.
But either way, after this exchange, Cedric is pretty upset with him. It's very we hate Quinn vibes because he doesn't want to let people know that he has this power, but they're supposed to be an alliance.
So why don't
Which
they
makes
know?
sense. Why don't they know? It makes perfect sense. However, moving right along, we get to this Quinn plan with Tucker, and now we're back to where we are.
And now we're gonna have the veto ceremony. What could happen? Well, if you're new to Big Brother, what usually happens is the person who wins the veto, if they are on the block, would use it on themselves. Well, we do indeed expect the unexpected in this household because Tucker doesn't care. He doesn't care what anyone has to say. He doesn't care about numbers. We'll talk about that more. He likes biscuits and puzzles and to shake things up, but not numbers. But that's for later
No, no.
because
You don't
because
care about numbers.
doesn't care about numbers. Doesn't want to listen to them. He takes Angela off the block, and everyone's shocked. They, like jaw dropped. It was like Brooklyn, not even there anymore. Like in complete disbelief. It was funny. I fear they don't give her much screen time, but they held on her then because nobody
And Angela,
and Angela. So
when she was like,
Angela had no idea that she was going to be taken off the block. She's also living in this world of first week HOH. There's always going to be a target on your back. Though she acted the way that she did, she kind of went crazy for crazy eyes in the first week.
crazy.
And she's been recovering ever since. And I use the term recovering kind of loosely. But she's expecting she's still the number one target, thinking Tucker's just going to take himself off the block. Because also he was put up as a pawn. And I think he kind of agreed to it, but more so last week. But he also agreed to other things. But anyway. Angela's taken off the block. She's so appreciative. The whole house is probably like, why, man? Like, because they still want her out. A lot of the audience wants her out. I'm not on that team. That's a side note. If I go to Twitter, they love her.
They love
if I go
her.
to Instagram, they can't stand
They
her.
can't stand her on
Interesting.
Instagram.
So people are very 50-50 with Angela. But regardless, Tucker takes her off. She's like, oh my God, like, this is big freaking brother. And so she's off of the block, and everyone's like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? Well, Cedric has to name the next nominee. Well, I know Quinn's been a hot topic, but someone else has a power in this house, and everyone pretty much knows it. So then Cedric puts up who other but Mackenzie, who's just there like, what are you gonna do? Oh no, I'm on the block. Oh no.
This veto meeting is adjourned. Actually, no, it isn't.
They start like the slow-mo, like Tucker's closing the box and they play the music and then Mackenzie stands up. It's like
Actually, no, it isn't.
and so I actually don't know at this point how many people know that she has this veto,
Everybody.
but still some people are in shock.
I'm like 80% sure. They also did a compilation last last episode showing they were talking about like how everybody knows that she has it. And
Hmm.
I'm like 80% sure like at least 12 of them know. Maybe like two people are out of the
Hmm.
loop at this point in time, but
Yeah.
like at least over half of them know.
Enough people either forgot or didn't know, or at least put on an amazing show when for the second time in the same ceremony it was like jaw dropped, jaw on the ground. Mackenzie, the replacement nominee. Oh, wait, by the way, Tucker upset. That was not the plan. That was not the
Oh
plan.
yeah.
Backtrack a little. Mackenzie's sitting next to him. He's like looking at her. That wasn't the plan.
I
That was
forgot that was like before Mackenzie got put up
a key point. A key point.
or Mackenzie
What
used the
was the
power.
plan? Let's get back to it.
Yeah.
Mackenzie stands up. I have America's veto, and I'm gonna take myself off the block. And everyone's like, "Oh my goodness!" So she has it in her pocket.
Yeah, she just pulled it out of
She just pulls it out of her
Big
pocket,
veto.
which like makes me question too. Did she have it in her pocket for every ceremony,
Probably.
just in
Well,
case?
yeah, I guess it would just in case.
She goes to the diary
In
room and
case
they
they were
just hand it to
scheming.
her. Or
Yeah.
unless she had it on her at all times. I have that thing on me at all times.
She got that thing on her. And
And
by
so
that thing, I mean the America's veto.
and so she puts it to use, jaw to the ground, though I'm not surprised that she used it. I didn't know she was going up though. So now Mackenzie takes herself off the block. The house is shook. Though this now washed her power like immediately. And I believe
Did it
that
have a
was
time limit? Do we know if they have time limits?
hers, I believe, had 4 weeks. I think both
Oh,
of them.
so
So that
it
means
was
that
only a
this
week away.
exactly.
So it's not
And
like
so they wanted to get rid of it, and
she got some
thus they
mileage
did.
out of it.
She did. And she got
She
to
did.
save herself, which
Hmm.
I thought was really good. I'm glad that she didn't like waste it on
Well, she
that.
probably wouldn't even have been in this situation if she didn't have the power to begin with, but
That's true. That is very true. Very true. So now she's off the block. This is Wednesday night. Everyone shook. Then America's veto, and there's the announcement and everything. Where now we have, I don't know how many hours it was, but we had until noon on Thursday for America to vote on which house guest they want to be the third nominee, because now there's a vacancy. And they're playing the montage of like all the house guests and whatever. And honestly, I feel like at this point they're painting a picture of who they assume will be voted on anyway. Because now the options that America has are super limited because Cedric as HOH can't be nominated, like voted upon by America. Mackenzie just
Angela.
took herself off, so she can't. Angela was just removed from the block, so she can't. Then Tucker and
Tucker
Kenny.
and Kenny were already on the block.
And
So
so
that's like
that's,
there's only I think 10, what is it, 8 people to vote from?
I can't
Because
count
at this
fast.
point, at this point, Lisa and Matt were gone. So that's
Hmm.
14
Rest
minus
in peace.
minus 6. 14 minus 6 is 8. Maths.
That is maths because I know 11 people voted too in
Yeah.
the end. So that means let's do maths. We've got Rubina,
Tikor,
Tigor.
Leah, Quinn, Chelsea, Joseph, Cam, and Chemo.
We did it. Oh, we're so good at this. Those are the people that America has to vote for. And then the episode ends, but the participation does not, because again, we have until noon the next day. Everyone was able to vote up to
10
10
times.
times if you watched a little video. And now I'm sitting here thinking, honestly, again, outside of, I know we have our own draft going on. I'm considering the game itself
Me
what
too.
me as a
That's
person would like. And man,
after
there was
this.
no one I wanted to vote for. Honestly, I don't know. You feel I would have voted at this point for Mackenzie, but she's the whole reason that we got to vote. So I couldn't vote for her.
Honestly, I mean, like, so I actually didn't get to vote because I didn't watch this episode until the day after in the morning, because Wawa decides to schedule me till 12 o'clock every night. So I wasn't gonna come home and watch Big Brother at 12:30. So instead I watched it the next morning, right before the voting ended. So I did get to go on the website and like check it out, but at this point, I'm kind of split. I'm very torn because on one hand, Quinn was making me very angry by the end of this episode. I was very anti-Quinn, but I can't vote for Quinn because he's my A1 sauce. So like the only I checked Twitter for like 10 minutes and every single person on there was like vote for Quinn.
Hmm.
So I was very set on kind of just like not voting because like if I voted for like Leah because that's who my other option was just because I don't like Leah. So
Real.
and so if I were to, like, who cares if I voted for Leah because it's not like my votes were to be going anywhere. Um, so I just decided not to vote. I don't know. What did you vote, Mo?
So I ended up voting, I split mine in half. So five for Quinn and five for Leah. And so my thought process was, well, it's already going to be Quinn, but Leah is the closest thing to Mackenzie. I've also heard some things that I guess I won't go in detail about because I have no details on it, but some things that Leah may have said that like production may be trying to hide that I'll look out for
I
details.
need to.
So hardcore rumor on this
I'm
one.
gonna do some digging
Do a
now
little
that you
digging
mentioned this.
while I yap about my votes because I did vote on time. I debated whether or not I should text you because I didn't want to spoil the episode, but I also
Yeah.
didn't know that it closed at noon at the time. I thought it closed closer to the show. And on our Instagram at the Diary Room WMSC, I posted, "Oh my goodness, it closes in an hour because Big Brother's account did." And that's when I realized that. But I voted right after I saw the show, I think about 10 p.m. And again, most of the options for me, I would have voted for those who were ineligible. And though I did see a handful of people who wanted to vote out Cam because he wasn't doing much, they wanted to nudge him. People who wanted to vote for Joseph because he seems a bit comfortable and they wanted to nudge him too. What was very funny was, I mean, obviously a lot of people on Instagram were upset that they couldn't vote Angela to go back on the block, but she was ineligible. We just took her down. And the funniest thing that I came across was someone commented on Instagram, "I'm voting for Chelsea. Who's with me?" Crickets. No one. Why would we vote
Why would we
Chelsea?
ever vote for Chelsea?
Why would we do that? She's been doing well. I
She
think
did
she's doing a good
good.
job.
She got
And
through a week of her HOH basically got completely trampled by other house guests and nobody batted an eye. She had a free week. She had power. It's like it's resume. She won the
mhm,
HOH. people probably won't remember the fact that she got completely walked all over. But they tried to do it the week before or the week after with Cedric, and this is what happens.
Yeah. But whole HOH reign, and now she's so under the radar. Good for her. I wasn't voting Chelsea. I was never going to vote Chelsea. But the main reason that I heard a lot of people were voting for Quinn was because he does seem so comfortable. In the diary room, at least the clips that they're playing, they match it up so that he looks like he's trying to be this evil villain, and it's not quite working. I don't know if he's 100% confident in that either, or if it's just the edit. Like, I'm just gonna, like, say that too. But
Mhm.
for the most part, the reason why I voted for Quinn to go up there wasn't because I dislike Quinn. Has nothing to do with our draft either, because I actually really do like Quinn. I think he needed a little bit of a nudge, a little flick to the forehead. And just
A
like,
little flick.
hey man, by the way, like, you think you have this whole house wrapped around your finger? You don't. But I also did it because I love Tucker. Like it's so stupid. Like, I love Tucker. Like, it's a problem. I'm just like, oh yes, sweet Tucker. There, I shall vote
Sweet
Quinn.
Tucker.
Quinn shall be next to thee. And so, half of it was Quinn, you need a little flick to the forehead, and the other half was sweet Tucker, I gift you what you want. And well, thus we move into Thursday, unless you have any updates from research.
Research shows there was a post on the Big Brother subreddit. This is the
Nice.
most convincing thing that's quite interesting, actually. It said is a post from a deleted user and a deleted post. So they are clean.
Perfect. Mm-hmm.
But the post was deleted, and under it, the headline is a quote that says Lee has said four derogatory terms. I don't know what was under the post because it's deleted, obviously. But the mod team posted as in the comments that um it's a it's a like a rule about why they deleted this post. Apparently it was an unofficial source or like a parody account or something AI generated, something fake. But it
Mm-hmm.
specifically says AI parody or like modified photos or clips.
Okay.
And I think it's weird that the headline is a quote. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm confused. I can't find anything else about it, but maybe I'll look on Twitter after this. We'll
Mm-hmm.
see. We'll get back to you.
I
What?
see that post too,
Oh,
and
you
the
found it.
only thing that I see is this is why I despise live feed cuts, because we have no idea of knowing the dot dot dot. But that's why in my vote I was taking that with a grain of salt because I don't have more information, but for the most part it's because Leah and Mackenzie are together. Not the biggest fan of Mackenzie at the moment, so I
Hmm.
figured that was the next best thing. But again, figured that all of those votes would be washed anyway in favor of putting Quinn on the block. But was Quinn put on the block? Question mark?
Question mark.
Well, now we're
Moving
on
into
Thursday.
Thursday.
Do you do you want to take the first point?
I will take the first point on Thursday because
Tee.
this is one of my favorite parts. As much as I love you, Tucker, you're kind of stupid, just a little bit, and
Sweet Tucker.
you're gonna look really dumb, just like Angela after this season when you go back and you look back at the clips. Even if you do, maybe you won't, because ignorance is bliss. Or maybe you're just a dog and you really knew that you were lying and you just don't care. So, back to the Cedric Tucker beef. We got Cedric moments before the veto meeting. He found out after polling the house, aka I'm aligned, polling the house, aka I'm aligned with Quinn and I don't want to mess up my alliance. He
Our
tells
recording is really excited about whatever information you just relayed.
they put the
Yay, Tucker
confetti and
going
everything.
off!
The confetti and everything.
Continue.
So, after Cedric polls the house and finds out that they don't have the numbers, he tells Tucker to use the veto on himself. Genuinely. He's actually telling him to do this because he just doesn't want to mess up his alliance with Quinn. They're good. They had that talk. They don't care that he didn't tell them he had the power because there's bigger fish to fry. Maybe this will cause Quinn issues in the future. We don't know. But we do know one thing, and that is that Cedric told Tucker to use the veto on himself. And you know what Tucker says? I don't give a flip. I'm doing it anyway. And he
He likes
did it
to shake
anyway.
things up. He likes to shake things up.
He sure did do it anyway. Um, so so that was before the veto. We get the veto. Wednesday happens. Well, it was actually
Well,
right
wait.
before the veto.
Yeah.
So the veto meeting happens, and Tucker is very, very mad.
Angie.
Angie Tucker.
Angie Tucker.
Angie Tucker says, "Bah, why did you put up Mackenzie after I told you that I wanted Quinn up and we were gonna get Quinn out?"
That
And
was not the
Cedric, that
plan.
was not the
Not the
plan.
plan.
And Cedric says, "Bah, I told you right before the veto that we didn't have the votes, and you said, I don't care." And he was like, "I didn't say that." Oh, but he did. Oh, but he did. And Angela overhears all of this yelling, and Angela is like, "Hey guys, I heard what you were saying out there. Who's lying about what?"
She's not real.
When Angela isn't being like the worst person ever, I kind of like her. She's very good TV.
She's amazing TV. She's like the most breaking the fourth wall that I feel like I've seen in a long time. And I feel like, okay, there's actually people in this
Exactly.
house. She's just like, she's so me. Like, oh yeah, like I heard through the door. Can you like clarify?
You
Like I
clarify.
was just out there. Like, she's not afraid to say it either. Like a lot of people, you're on the other side of the door, you're literally putting like your hand and your ear like up to the door to try to understand. But she's like, yeah, no,
She
I was
just
just
walked
passing
in.
by. What's going on? I want the tea. And I love her
And
for
then
that.
and we did get the tea. Cedric and Tucker would be like, "You want to go outside, man? You want to take this outside, man?" And they took it outside. And we get another house meeting. Which one
Another
is the
one.
this is like number 4 of the season. It's only week 3.
They love to
Um,
meet.
but they love meeting. We love having house meetings. You know what? I'm not even gonna complain because some of the best moments come from house meetings.
Hmm.
So I can't complain. Um, so Cedric and Tucker have their beef live in 4K. And everyone's there, even Quinn. And
Well, because at first they were in like one of the side rooms where the
yeah,
majority of the household already was. And so Tucker kept going off, this was not the plan
Hmm.
during the veto meeting when Mackenzie went up. So the House is obviously going like, okay, so what was the plan? And so
Yeah.
Cedric is the one who said, let's just make this a House meeting,
Yeah.
which is interesting to note because he did not want to be the one to be in trouble for all of this for something that he never agreed to. And this is what they yap about in front of the House.
But the thing is, I think it's interesting to note that at this point, the tone is shifting from a more anti-Quinn to, I mean, yeah, it's shifting from more anti-Quinn to anti-Tucker
Mm-hmm.
because of how much trouble Tucker has been causing. And for some reason, for the amount of abnormal situations that this house finds them in on a week-to-week basis, the people who are like the reason for it are just not facing any consequences. Angela, Quinn, maybe we'll see Tucker claw his way back.
Mm-hmm.
Just wanted
Did
to note that.
It's just like the odd man out that's getting evicted. It's the crazy eyes. It's the nobody likes Lisa.
Yeah.
And then we got another
Well, we'll
one.
get to
We got
it.
another- But that's true. This is a very interesting household. And again, the biggest complaint from the last couple seasons was that the first couple weeks were just like boring. Well, you can't accuse BB26 of being boring. We're on
Not
the
at
edge
all.
of our seats over here.
Every single episode
Our 100th house meeting of the
of
season.
the season of week 3.
So then everything's aired out in front of the house. And it's true that now Quinn's power is called out in front of the house. So everybody knows.
Everybody knows.
There must have been like I thought at some point pretty much everybody knew, but clearly not. There must have been
No, the first
a good
person to know
chunk.
was Chemo.
Yes, because then we said that Chemo told Tucker, told Cam, and told Cedric, and now so they know.
Yeah.
And now we're airing it out in front of the house. And Quinn is like, great, great. Now I gotta tell everybody. It's fantastic. So now everyone knows. And Quinn's saying like, well, I wasn't gonna use it or whatever. I'm like, okay. Like sure. Like I don't know. If you've got this epic power and you're ever like your back is up against the wall, like sure, maybe
Exactly.
Mackenzie would have said like I wouldn't use it either. And then she's on the block. Why would she not use it? In her right mind, why would she not use it on herself? So there's that. And now everybody knows. Most of the people did they mention the like details of the power at the meeting?
Yes.
They did. So
Well, I don't think maybe it's me. Um, but I believe it's, I mean, I'm not sure if they know 100% or if Quinn fully understands it or if I'm fully understanding it. But this is like the most complicated power ever.
mm-hmm.
So it's kind of difficult to know exactly what's going on. But the way the House knows it is that he can override the nominations. But the way that I remember it being given to the audience was that he could control every aspect of the HOH week, like even the veto
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that, because they never specified, at least to my knowledge, that it wasn't like it's just the avatar and it
Mm-hmm.
will create the fake avatar of the head of household and they can do they said you can control the house, the HOH, as a fake HOH, but they didn't say if it extended to like the veto or maybe they just said it was the nominations, but the house knows that it's just the nominations.
Mm-hmm. All right. I'll admit I was a little confused
Yeah, it's
myself.
really confusing and they didn't really do a great job explaining it. as well as they did with Mackenzie's, but that's just because Mackenzie's is a veto. So,
Yeah, basically. But
um,
now people are aware that Quinn's got something going on.
something with
I
nominations.
am curious of what it would look like as well, because I kind of pictured too, like the box where Ainsley is, that's where
Yeah,
HOH would be. And, go so far as pick like the veto
that's what I'm
competitors.
saying.
Like
I
maybe
thought,
you just like pick it in the diary room. Hi, that's where we are. And then they just like show it, and then like AI HOH would just like pick it out, and then it would be
uh-huh,
the person.
exactly.
But I guess we don't know how far it goes, and maybe the house doesn't know, but they do know that Quinn's got something going on, and even more importantly, they know, if applicable, that Quinn did not tell them. And so Quinn saying is aligned with this, like basically everyone in the house, and a good chunk of the people who he's aligned with do not know that he has this power, and so they consider for themselves what does this mean? I forget exactly at what point in the episode, but this is addressed to some people where Quinn obviously has to do a little bit of damage control. I don't know how much it actually will like mean to
Back to
anybody,
this game, yeah.
but is saying, this was said in the bathroom. I don't remember to who, but I remember it was the bathroom for some
It
reason.
was, are you talking about when Cedric and him were like, are we
Was it
good?
Cedric? I think so.
Or
Where,
was it where they hugged? He hugged him at the end. He
because
was like, are we good?
I think Quinn was then just saying, I had this in my back pocket to use for the group, but I didn't want it to like get
Yeah,
out.
it was Cedric.
So then it was to
It was
Cedric.
Cedric.
Whether that was, received well or not, I guess only time will
Well,
tell.
he did. I don't know if they had a diary room bit where he'd see what he was really thinking, but it seemed genuine because they were both together alone.
Hmm.
So, I mean, he could have said something if he really wanted to. Um,
I mean, at this point too, Cedric has nothing else he can do. Like he's not
yeah,
putting anyone up. There's, maybe down the line feelings could change, but at this point it wouldn't make any sense anyway to be all upset with Quinn.
yeah.
But I also feel like side note, but also important note, now that like Cedric's job is done, I really like Cedric. He
Yeah.
was my number one pick in the draft because I just thought like, oh, he's gonna be a cutie. He's gonna do a good job. And I feel like this was a cutie HOH. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna do I gotta do what the house wants. I'm gonna put these people up. And he didn't do something with his power that someone else wanted him to do by not putting up Quinn and putting up Mackenzie because he felt that's what benefits my game the best. And I told Tucker that I'm not going through with this guy's plan,
Hmm.
and there was no like lying from Cedric. Like this was a pretty clean week, still early.
I do have a
Except
thought.
you do have a thought.
I have a thought, but
I'd like to
I'll
know the
wait
thought.
until we finish the week first.
Okay,
I'll wait
fair
until we
enough.
finish talking about the week.
Fair enough. Because
But I have this thought, and I think it's very silly.
okay, well, I'm excited for the thought, and so we'll jump into like I said, Cedric's job is done, but America's job
America's
has
job
just
is not.
begun. And so we have the whole bit going like backtracking from the veto ceremony, jaws on the floor still as we go into the live episode where a lot of people were saying that they wanted Julie to announce the top 3 votes. She did not. I thought that would have been cool. Like, who would have been up on the block? Like, watch out, because you were really close to being up there. But alas, she just announced America's nominee, the number one pick, and it is none other than Quinn.
When
To which people go boo or people go yeah, depending on who you are. But if you're Tucker, you're going yeah.
uh,
Because America, even more than they wanted Quinn up, I think wanted to give Tucker his way. And now on the block is Quinn and Tucker and Kenny sitting on the chopping block in anticipation of the BBAI arena. Before we get into that, I had to make a note of the really awkward moment of Cedric where he starts to be like talking to Julie. He's like, you look at Julie's like, I'm sorry. Say that again. It's like, you look great, Miss Julie. It was so funny. I think it's because it's just such like a normal thing. You go in the diary room and you're like, you look stunning, Julie. And she goes, you're not so bad yourself. What's your vote for this week? But because Cedric's HOH, he couldn't do that this week. So his mind was probably just like, tell Julie she looks good. Tell her she looks good.
Tell her she looks
Cedric,
good.
you look good. So that was, I loved it. It made me love Cedric even more. I thought it was so funny. And then everyone went to the diary room later and they're like, you look great. And she's like, yes. Who do
Yes.
you vote out? But before that, before they vote, they got to find out who they are voting upon. So, do you want to take on the AI arena?
AI Arena, I can give my thought at the end of this AI Arena explanation because it's very silly. So, AI Arena, um, well, actually, I can give my thought now. I wanted to wait until after we announced who got put up because I think it's so silly that even after Cedric did everything in his power to not give Tucker what he wanted, he still got there anyway. Because in the AI arena, which was it was one of those competition, it was a competition in which it was literally just one of those amusement park games with the money in it, and you had to catch but it wasn't money, it was bunch of balls, and there was red balls. Oh wait, it looked like I had like something on my finger at first.
Red balls!
Red balls. And so the contestants had to pick out all the red balls. There was red, blue, green balls. Red, blue,
And they,
green. Was there a fourth one?
I don't recall,
I
but they were flying.
but they were a fly-in. I'm pretty sure it's just RGB because like RGB computer.
Probably.
Um, but they had to pick out all the red balls, and in the end, once they got to 20, um, the winner was winnered, and the person who absolutely smashed this competition, it was like not even close, like complete domination, slaughter was Tucker.
Mm-hmm.
Just like he said,
Yeah.
which even adds more to the silly because not only did he get exactly what he wanted from America, he also followed up on his promise that he would beat Quinn in this AI arena. So even if Tucker is a liar, you can say he's a liar. You could say he's corny.
You could
You
say he
can
likes
say he likes
puzzles.
puzzles. You can say he likes biscuits even. But there's one thing you can't say, and that is that he is a bad competitor
Mm-hmm.
because I don't even know how he does it.
Beast
No,
mode.
no glaze, no glaze. He's not even my teammate. I just wish that he was on my team. Maybe not in the coming future. Who knows
Yikes.
what'll happen to him?
Mm-hmm.
But he is a beast mode cowboy. Just not, he's not actually a cowboy.
That was a
That
thing.
was just the reference to James.
What
Miss you,
his
James.
rest in peace. He's alive. We
He's
just want him
alive,
to be
but
restful.
yeah. I hope you had a
What's
good sleep last night, James.
what's not beast mode was Tucker's hair. I don't know what was
Oh,
going
the
on.
unicorn mohawk. Yeah.
It was kind of nuts even for me. I didn't mind the braids from the week before. I thought they looked pretty good, and some people were complaining about that. No, but this past week it was some. But one of my favorite parts of this AI arena was the fact that when Tucker won, so you catch the balls in the air or whatever, he admitted to his strategy, which was to sit on the fan that limited the air, and he was
Yeah.
able to collect them. My strategy would have been collecting them in my shirt if that was allowed. Like, that would have been what I did. My
Maybe it wasn't.
favorite, my favorite is that at the end of it, once you get all the balls into this tube, and you know that you're done, it counts it, and you can see at the top that he has to press this button to lock it in. He smacks this button so hard,
So hard.
punches the hole through the whole thing, the whole like tube that he's in, punch right through it. And then there's just this whole. He's like, "Let's go!" And there's the hole, and the other ones like they have like the lights are red because they lost the game and whatever, and there's no like green light or anything. There's just blue. That's the wall in the background of the competition because he punched the hole through it. I thought that was very fun and silly. I also thought if I was in this competition and I was beat so hard by Tucker, I would have looked behind too and seen like how I fared compared to him. And like none of them looked back. I guess they didn't have to, but if I was in that situation, I would have looked back and be like, wow. Full. And then Quinn and Kenny like a handful in comparison.
He was hungry for that freaking AI arena, man.
So hungry that he punched a hole
He eated
and
it. Maybe he ate it.
he eated it.
Maybe he eated it with his hand.
And then they go down the stairs from the HOH, like the second floor of the balcony, and they go down. They look all sad. And Julie's like the winner, reveal yourself. He's like, yeah, and everyone's like, yeah. So now it is Quinn and Kenny on the block, and they have to decide who's gonna go home. I don't think Julie yelled at them this week for like go talk, which is good because they give them like negative time, but gives them enough time to form their thoughts, do their speeches. I liked Quinn's speech, though I love Quinn and Tucker. Called Tucker a couple of names that was funny and I think lighthearted.
Yeah, no, it was definitely like just like a silly jab. It wasn't anything crazy. He was like a big dumb meanie.
Calling
He called him a
Tucker
big dumb meanie or something like that.
and saying that, if he sticks around, he'll be putting Tucker on the block. And it was funny names, but I don't think this was received well. But I guess maybe they'll show that in a coming episode.
Oh, really?
And yeah, I heard that, someone's not so happy about that, but I'm hoping we'll see that. I'm hoping we'll see the inner workings of the live episode. We'll see some behind the scenes. Because also the whole house was convinced like they were possibly going up there talking to America, like, please don't put me up, please. And so I'm curious to see any like more diary room sessions on unboxing what happened during Thursday's episode. But so now the house has to vote. And the house gets to call Julie Chen beautiful. And she really loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And so
As always.
and so they vote. And the first one to vote is Tucker. And not only does he vote, he e-votes, which made me giggle. A nod to Derek. And so Tucker e-votes Quinn. And the funny thing is that, like, he votes a bit, and then Julie's like, just to be clear, you're voting out Quinn, right? And Tucker's like, yeah. Julie's like, thank you. It was so funny, like, okay, I guess you have to, like, get 100%. If you're not getting the exact verbiage, I guess you do have to clarify. But Tucker tries to e-vote. He votes Quinn, and then the rest of the house votes. So anyway, here's the outcome.
It wasn't even close, man.
In a 10-1 vote, Kenny, you are evicted from the Big Brother house.
You are evicted from the Big Brother house.
Everyone's like, what?
What? Yo,
Oh,
I think it's so funny Um, who was it? Kenny kissed Tucker on his way out.
He did?
Yep.
I didn't
Or
even notice
it was
that.
one of the guys, and it was only one of them, not even
Hmm.
Cedric. It was like
Hmm.
one of them that he wasn't like super close with.
Yeah.
I'm like 80% sure it was Tucker.
Hmm.
Um, or it might have been no, it wasn't Quinn, but I'm pretty sure it was Tucker. I just thought that was silly. I want to see fan art now. I need to see this. Like, I gotta see.
Well, not if Matt has anything to do with it.
And it was like passionate too. He like grabbed his head. That's the only reason I noticed. You gotta go back and watch it. It was so funny.
I will have to look back and find out because that's very funny. Well, now Kenny Kenny's gonna get his wish. He gets to go home. Cool, whatever.
Did you see the post that he made?
Leaving.
He made a post saying that he was going home.
Yeah, as
And
in
then
the
Matt
airport.
commented, yeah. And then Matt said, "I'll meet you
Okay, but for real, like that's kind of cute.
there." It's cute.
Because one of the first posts that Matt posted was like, really missing
Missing
my
my
showmance.
showmance, and it
And
was Kenny.
everyone's gonna think it's Mackenzie, but it was Kenny. I thought that was funny. I'm
Mhm.
enjoying a lot of Matt's post Big Brother content. I think it's hilarious. So they were on FaceTime on Kenny's way home. He is spoiler, not spoiler, but beyond this episode, he is back with his family, which I have to admit I didn't watch the live stream. I watched it like after he went on his Instagram. I was like, okay, that's so sweet. Because when he was out of the house, and Julie called him out on it too. It's like, you've been saying that you want to get out of this house. What's up with that? And I mean, Kenny, honestly, I didn't mind his reaction, his answer to that, where he's like, I've been trying to get on the show for 5 years. 5 years ago, I didn't have, two kids under five. Like they weren't here yet, and it's really hard to be away from them. And, I think that is part of the experiment, for sure.
Yeah.
I think the hardest part for me, I do love my family, would be without social media. Like I
You
literally
think
thought
so?
about this. I think I'd go nuts.
Really?
Or just even beyond that, without my phone. I feel like I
I
always
know
have
that
to be
they
doing
can
something,
listen
learning
to music,
something.
right?
They could HOH music.
HOH gets music.
I would win
I
HOH.
guess I would just have to win
I'd
HOH
be
too
like,
much.
this is for
It's
this
not
is
to
for
see
Kim Dracula.
it's not to see my family. It's so I can listen to his album.
Please, I don't care about my family. I needed to listen to
Needed.
Fall Out Boy or I would collapse.
Yep.
But but for Kenny, and no, honestly, I feel like I would go crazy. We could talk all about how we would be in the house another time, but for Kenny, that was his driving force was his family. So he's back with them, which is good, and was able to address it a bit because they didn't talk too much about his wanting to go home until earlier, like the day before he was evicted. Maybe they knew at that point, there's a good chance he's gone. The funniest part of all of this is we went through all of this week. We went through Tucker is a pawn, Angela's up there, Kenny's up there. Tucker wins, takes off Angela. Mackenzie goes up. She goes
He
off.
goes off.
America's
Quinn goes
veto.
up.
Quinn goes up. Tucker wins.
Tucker wins again.
Quinn versus Kenny. And we send
So we
Kenny
still get Kenny
home.
home.
Now, I I am glad that Quinn is still in the house. My draft is not glad, but my draft could care
My
less
draft is
because
glad.
it was between two of your players anyway. But I am glad that Quinn's still in the house because I do like Quinn. He needed to be shaken up, a flick to the forehead, like I said. But it's so funny that like we took all these extra steps for a pretty basic outcome because he's
Exactly.
been on the block for a while.
Exactly. That's what like I just thought that was so silly.
Was like wrong solution, right answer, or like just really complicated solution, right answer. I mean, I feel like I anticipated a week ago, yeah, Kenny's probably going to be gone. But it's one of those like when they show you the end of the movie, it's like, yeah, you're probably wondering how I got here.
It really was. It was. That was
And
straight out of a movie.
and so cinematic week. I applaud the Big Brother gods
Once again,
for
just we're
delivering.
still eating. We still eating.
Because there's
We still
still
eating.
chef in the house, but there's no glitter chef, and there's no so-called food truck man.
Food truck.
There's just Tucker.
Protein bar
Tucker,
man.
protein bar man remains in the house, and there's no telling what comes next. The house guests were dressed
There
up
is telling what comes
there's
next,
very
actually.
soon.
There is telling.
There is telling.
We have a Sunday episode. We have a Wednesday episode. We have a Thursday episode. But wait,
There's more.
there's actually a Tuesday episode.
What?
What?
Just when you think that we won't have to pack more into one episode, we get a
Have to
bonus
pack.
episode.
I think this one's probably just gonna be like a silly, but also we still probably would. I think it'd be nice because we might see like how the people involved in that episode because they are Big Brother alumni. We might see how they're faring after their time on the show, and we'll probably start talking about their seasons for 8,000 years. So, yeah, probably just as hard to talk about the Tuesday episode as long with all of the other ones. Anyway, but that just means more diary room for you right
Yeah.
there.
We'll be
You right
yapping.
there.
We'll be
We're
yapping
still yapping.
as this week we wear the items of what is opposite of shame?
The items of victory.
Items of victory, because Oswald's pick, Lisa, was evicted last week. Therefore, Oswald is a have-not. Boo, boo, Oswald, boo,
Boo.
Oswald. But alas, this also crowns Chris yet again as the
Mm.
have-not for the week, for his pick. Kenny is no longer in the house. So you may choose which hat you would like next week. We will reveal it then, but there shall be an item of shame. And so to do a quick recap of our draft picks, Chris and I both had 6 and Oswald 5. Chris has officially lost his second pick. He's left with 4. Oswald, I guess, is left with 3.
Oh, why does it keep doing that? It was a red balloon too.
Like the ball, like the red ball. Oh, it's all connected.
Ah, ah.
But Oswald also had AI, which doesn't is not applicable anymore. So Oswald technically has 3, Chris has 4, and I still have 6. But
It's only a matter of time.
it's only a matter of time. Especially with Tucker being Tucker. But
Tucker,
we'll see.
Mackenzie, Leah, and Angela.
And it all depends
It all
also
depends on who wins, I
on
guess.
who wins HOH, because this is the last week that Quinn could use his power. I anticipate the power shall be used.
He's probably gonna use it anyway.
And so now it's just a question of, well, who has immunity?
Now we're gonna get another crazy week, is what we're gonna get. I
I'm
hope we get a
excited.
lot of arguing.
I'm excited.
I want to see more arguing, baby.
And so the house guests also, at the end of the Thursday episode, they looked pretty dressed for an endurance comp.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they looked really dressed up for that.
That's
But
Quinn's gonna eat that up though.
I don't know if it was. I've
Quinn is
got no
gonna
proof.
eat an endurance competition up though. Because
But we're
did you
gonna
know
find out soon.
he has the world record for the longest amount of time anyone's ever stood on one foot blindfolded?
Well, that could certainly help.
Did you know he has that?
I did not know.
Well,
Well, now I know.
now you know. And
I
now you
have
know
fear.
he's an endurance competition beast. So
Well,
you
either
better
way.
hope that it's not an endurance competition on Sunday, or else,
Or else Quinn's gonna be
or
HOH.
else Quinn's gonna be HOH.
It's
And
either gonna be Quinn or it's gonna be Quinn.
this,
Dun dun dun. But we will see what the comp
we
is.
will see.
We'll see who air quotes wins. Maybe it's a double victory for Quinn. Maybe if Quinn wins, Quinn won't even have to use his own power. That'd be fun. We speculated a couple weeks ago that Quinn could, use it during his own week, but now
he
everybody
can't.
knows.
Now everybody knows.
He still could for the bit.
That would be really funny.
For the bit and more tonight. Big Brother Sunday episode. This is a regularly scheduled veto on Wednesday, eviction on Thursday, but in addition, we have a bonus episode on Tuesday. We've got Jag, we've got Taylor, we've got Cody, and we'll see what that's all about. If it's worth uncovering next week when we return at the same time. The
On the diary room.
Yeah, you have any concluding thoughts, feelings?
Great week. Great week again. Very excited for next week. I'm very excited for the rest of the season. I say this every episode, but we've just gotten banger after banger after banger. And I'm gonna do a new bang. I'm gonna add a new banger after every banger week. So if we get another banger week next week, it's gonna be banger after banger after banger after banger. That's 4 bangers.
Banger tally.
We're gonna keep a banger tally after every week, and hopefully we go 16 for 16.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Thank you, BB26, for being so entertaining. And we post all sorts of updates and memes and even more entertaining things on our Instagram at thediaryroom.wmsc if you want to connect with us during the week. But if you don't, I'll only shed one tear. All right, we'll be back same time next week. Enjoy the episode tonight. Bye.